Hello and welcome to video number 2. We're going to do just my review of the year in video games here for 2016. This is December 31st, 2016. So I'm just going to go back in like kind of roughly chronological order the games that I played, and I guess I've started to make a habit of this, doing a game of the year. Something a lot of other YouTubers that I follow do, and I think it's actually pretty fun to just, think about out of all the games, if I had to pick one, what would be my game of the year. So for starters, we have Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. I hadn't played the original, I hadn't finished the original Neptunia on the PlayStation 3. I did own it and I did play it a little bit. But, I kind of wanted to go back and play Rebirth and just kind of get a little bit more of an updated take on the original game. I can't really compare it to the first one, but it was fun. I definitely enjoyed this. I love the Neptunia series. This was a really cool way to start off 2016. Next up we have Steins Gate. Now, I think I had forgotten this when I was talking about like my Vita collection update, but this was a Christmas gift last year. And I just did my Christmas loot video for this year, so I hope that you guys have checked that out. If you haven't, it's the video before this one. But anyway, so I was really excited to get this for Christmas last year, and I played it. I loved this. You guys know that I enjoy Steins Gate. I really liked the anime. The anime really got me into this, and I was so excited that they released this here. I've got the PC version that Just USA, I'm assuming, released, or what is it, J-List. And then, we got this Vita version that actually came out here. It wasn't just in Europe. We actually got a US release of this. So, played this beginning to end. This was my only platinum. Almost not my only platinum, but it was my only platinum this year. I almost got another platinum trophy, but love Steins Gate. Really, really great visual novel that I know is a little divisive. Next up, we have short piece, Ramko Tsukigime's Longest Day. Now, I know that this is an anime, but it has a video game chapter in it, which I think is really cool. It was kind of a collaboration between Grasshopper Manufacture and whatever the developer is that did Tokyo Jungle. I did a review of this year. I really had fun with this. I think it's a really unique, fun game. It's short. It's just a little chapter in a longer anime. The anime is included on here. This is basically like the complete ultimate edition of the anime with all the anime chapters, including the game edition. And yeah, I just think this was really cool. I'm really glad that I played this year. Next up is Dead or Alive Extreme 3. A guilty pleasure. I was really excited for this, and this did not disappoint. I really think that this is an improvement on the previous games. I think the metagame is highly improved. The owner mode takes a little while to kind of wrap your head around what exactly that is supposed to be. But once you sort of figure that out, and just how the gameplay flows, I think this is a much better game than the previous games in this series. And this is all, I think, credit to the people that have been working on the fighting game series, but I also really appreciate that all of the new girls in this seem to lend a lot of sort of new body types to the girls in the series. It's really funny, when I started to think about it, the previous girls, they're kind of just head swaps of the same body. If you start to notice it, it's really, there are minor variations, but it's pretty much just all the same, and it's a little bit ridiculous. So I really like, you've got Marie Rose. She's got, she's sort of like a petite kind of oldie character. You've got Honoka, who is sort of like the very voluptuous character, and man, I don't know if I remember all the names, but you've got some of the characters are like a little more athletic, little, not really burly, but they've got back a little bit, maybe more than some of the other characters, and it's just, it's a lot of fun. The mini games in here are really fun. The volleyball's fun, and it's just a really relaxing, beautiful, enjoyable game that I really enjoyed a lot in 2016 that unfortunately we didn't get here, but it was importable to all. Next up, I played a lot of Vita games on here too, which I like. Demon Gaze. This was a game that came out like a year or two, couple of years ago maybe. Just got around to playing it this year. Now I didn't quite finish this game, and that's probably my biggest criticism of it. You know, as far as dungeon crawlers go, I used to like dungeon crawlers. I cut my teeth on them, I think, as some of the earlier RPGs that I ever played. So, you know, this was fun to like come back to the genre and play a modern dungeon crawler game. I think this is pretty good. The difficulty ramp up on wherever I am in the game that I left off, very close to the end, but it's sort of like in the last, you know, whatever, a couple bosses or something maybe. I kind of got stuck. And that's a bummer. That's probably just kind of how these games work, and maybe if I can't overcome that, you know, maybe that's going to be a sticking point for me in this genre as a whole. But I definitely enjoyed what I played of Demon Gaze. Maybe I will come back to this and finish it up. Maybe it'll be my game of the year of 2017, I guess. But I don't want to say. I guess maybe I'm giving away this probably isn't my game of the year 2016. But I do like to finish, or at least, you know, if a game doesn't have an end, sort of like play enough of a game for it to be my game of the year. This one isn't going to quite cut it. Next up we have Mega Tag Mention, Blonde and Neptune versus Zombies. I did a review of this as well. You guys can check that out. Really had a lot of fun with this game. Unfortunately, you know, once I got to the end, the sort of the metagame again, just it was not what I was expecting. Really took the wind out of my sails, and I was a little disappointed once I finished this up. But I did enjoy the journey, you know, until I got there, and it's definitely a fun game. But not the best Neptunia game as far as I'm concerned. Definitely something fun to play though, if you're a Neptunia fan like I am. Next up, Fallout 4. Now, this is a game that I played last year, but a lot of times, especially with these kind of games, you know, I play them for a couple weeks or something, then I set them down, and I might come back to them later, and I definitely did with this. I came back to it, I played a bunch of this, really, really cracked out to this for, you know, several more weeks, and just had a ton of fun. These games are great. I love Bethesda's open world games, you know, in the Elder Scrolls series and in the Fallout series. I did finish this. I believe I did the Underground Railroad route for the ending of the game, and I liked that. I enjoyed that ending. I think I have to imagine that none of these endings are really going to be perfect, but once I sort of got into the railroad, I thought it was a fun route, and yeah, you know, I'm really glad that I finished this game. Really glad that I played it. I think it's definitely a standout title of, you know, 2015. I guess is probably near the end of 2015 when it came out, and 2016 when I, you know, played the bulk of it. Next up, No Man's Sky. This is a game that I was really interested to see what it had to offer. You know, I played a whole bunch of this. I think I cracked out to this for like a week or two, pretty hardcore, and I had a lot of fun with it. You know, in the end, this is one of those games that does have an ending. I haven't gotten the ending, and this may be one of those games that I come back to like Fallout 4. They have also added some new content to it, so I'm sort of curious to see how that turns out. But you know, suffice to say, this was definitely a very interesting game that I played in 2016. Next up, Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2. Now, I didn't quite finish this game here in 2016, which, you know, is really a bummer. I was really enjoying this. I got quite a ways, but this has an interesting structure to it. It's really split up, I think, into these three sort of distinct acts. And the first one is, it's sort of longer and more involved than I was expecting. And it feels a little odd for a Neptunia game. Once you get into the second act, I think it feels a little bit more comfortable. But again, like, it does something a little bit unique. So, you know, it's a really interesting entry into the Neptunia series. My opinion of it has sort of been like up and down as I've played it. You know, I think at times I've been like, I don't know about this, and then other times been like, oh wow, like, you know, this is a really cool game. So I know that a lot of good feedback about this game. A lot of people are saying a lot of good things about it. You know, I didn't finish this up in 2016. I will probably finish it up in 2017, and you know, hopefully I'll have a little bit more to say about it then once I actually finish it up. Next up is the current reigning champion of my favorite game of all time, still is Dead Rising. This came out on the PlayStation 4. I'm technically replaying this game, but it is an all-new, kind of an HD remaster. It's pretty bare bones in terms of the remaster. It's just, it's upscaled and it looks a little nicer in HD on the PlayStation 4. But it does have, full trophy support, which is great. It's the first time this has been on a Sony system. Dead Rising, the original one, was exclusive to the Xbox 360 until this came out. And I loved this a second time. I just think this game is amazing. I'm still considering doing a video just to explain like why I like go crazy over this, and it's not just like, oh, that's kind of a cool game, but like it's like I intensely like this. But yeah, it's I'm one trophy away from a platinum in this, and it's funny because I feel like I've done the hardest. I haven't really done the hard. I've done some of the hard trophies that I didn't do on the Xbox 360. The hard trophy that I have left is one that I actually completed on the 360. So I sort of know that I've gone down this path before, and I know I can complete that trophy. It's not a big deal. So I'm just sort of savoring my time until I go back and just really put the nail in the coffin of getting a platinum on this, which will be one of my prouder platinum accomplishments, I guess. Next up, a game that I'm currently playing is Super Dimension Neptune versus Sega Hard Girls. Now, I got a lot of time into this this year, and but I'm still, who knows what, halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, 2/3 of the way through, I'm not really sure. But actually, my friend might have finished this up, and I think he was saying that, I'm not all that far from the end, but I know I still have a couple of the worlds to finish up and stuff like that. So, anyway, I'll probably have more also to say about this in 2017, but I've really enjoyed what I've played of this here in 2016. It's not really your typical Neptunia game so far. Mixes it up a little bit with main characters and side characters and game structure and stuff, but it is an RPG, with similar battle system to the regular, sort of the main RPG games in the series, and it's really cool. I'm definitely liking that quite a bit. I did replay some games this year, and I'm not going to be able to cover all of them. I don't necessarily remember. I believe I remember tweeting out that I did finally beat Raiden 3. This is a PlayStation 2 game, a shoot 'em up, and I really like shoot 'em ups, and I don't necessarily want to exclude something like a retro game or a shoot 'em up from being my game of the year, no matter what year it is that I play it. But I don't think it really makes sense for me to like make a game of the year something that I've replayed. This I think is maybe the first time I've beaten this, so that might sort of count. But Raiden 3 isn't going to be my game of the year. Spoiler. But I also replayed Cannon Spike. I put up a video of that, so you guys can see that. That's a game that I enjoy, just going back and finishing every once in a while. A lot of these shmups take about 20 minutes to finish, so if you've been through them before and you know what you're doing, they're fun to just play through. Same here with Gunbird 2. This is basically my favorite shoot 'em up of all time, and I like going back and playing it now and then. I can't necessarily play it on like some hard difficulty or anything, but I video to play through of that, which you guys can check out if you haven't. Same thing with this Cheyenne Rio Explosion. I haven't gone through Cheyenne Rio, but Cheyenne Rio Explosion I have a lot of fun playing, and I replayed that again this year, amongst probably a handful of other games that I replay now and then. So this is a really interesting year. Some people out there I know play and finish tons and tons of games, but, I play through the ones that I get to, and I think this is a really good stack here of games. I had a lot of fun gaming this year. What are the standout games for me? Well, I think Dead Rising stands out a lot. Like I said, it's my favorite game of all time. I really, really enjoyed playing it this year, but it is a game that I've played before, and I feel a little bit bad giving a game of the year to like a replay of something that is a 10-year-old game, and believe me, I considered this. But I think it would be a little bit unfair to the other games that I played this year, because we know that is my favorite game. So if you look at the other stuff, I think that leaves things like Fallout 4, Dead or Alive Extreme 3, and Steins Gate. I think are high on that list. Now, I really liked my time with Dead or Alive Extreme 3. I would kind of like nothing more than to just, give Dead or Alive Extreme 3 my game of the year, I think. Just because I think it's the kind of thing you guys would expect, but also, is probably no one else's game of the year for 2016. But when I think about it, I really enjoyed playing it, but it didn't grab me to the point where like I just obsessively played and got a platinum, or even like finished. I didn't necessarily finish all of my goals for the game in 2016, and it just means it's a game that I'm going to come back to. But I think there were other games this year that I just enjoyed a little bit more this year. Fallout 4 I expected I would come back to, and I did, and I loved it. I got to the point where I was like decorating one of the houses, like I was like trying to make it, so like if you were living in the apocalypse but wanted to like sort of live like a human being, what would that look like? And I really got into the settlement building, and I finished the game, and it's great. It's a really great game. But I don't know what it is about the Bethesda games. Something about them where like I always love them. I always play a bunch of them, but they never really come across as game of the year material for me, just me personally. And maybe it's just that like I feel like an open world game, like it just there are different ways you can play it, and there are like some inherent flaws to it, and the game was also buggy. I normally don't get down on Bethesda games for being buggy all that much, because there are these huge undertakings, and the Bethesda teams that work on these are pretty small. You're talking like 40 people, not like 300. So it's there's a definite difference of scale there compared to other AAA games, and I think they do a great job. But overall, my game of the year for this year is without a doubt Steins Gate. I know that, especially even amongst people who watch my channel, and we talk on Twitter and things like that. I know not everybody likes that game, but the story to me and the characters to me are so good. And part of that might just be that it really is one of those romantic adventure novels, and it is sort of within that structure, but it kind of elevates it to its highest level, I think, which still isn't like necessarily the level of, certainly not like classic literature or something, or necessarily even like a great novel. But it's definitely like to the level where it's a breakout success outside of its genre. The people playing Steins Gate are not just people who would like a romantic adventure game. It's a larger audience, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons why it is a bit divisive, because some people are coming to this never really having like read a visual novel before, and just not necessarily knowing what to expect, especially when the term gets used, I think, for games that are, they're sort of pseudo visual novels to a certain extent. There may be adventure games with more adventure game elements to them. Anyway, that said, I could not put Steins Gate down, even after having watched the anime, and even with the barrier to entry that I think is just just getting into the game, because it's a long game. It's a long novel. You're going to be reading this. I was reading it for dozens of hours, and even still, when you get to the ending, you're going to be unlocking various endings along the way, and there's you have to go back, you have to replay it, you have to if you want to get all the trophies, you're going to have to go back through again with a guide, and if you want to see the true ending, which is really the good ending, you really have to go back and play through the game again. and you know, sort of do everything right to get that final ending. And it's just all of these little things to it, but I just ate it up. You know, I just couldn't get enough of that game, and I couldn't put it down. It's such for me, it's just such an interesting story. I love the idea of time travel. I love how weird and dark time travel stories tend to be, and I love the characters in this game, and I love like just how the characters grow and change, and you know, you learn more about them, and I love the world that they build in Steins Gate. All just kind of centered around a handful of characters in the Akihabara district of Tokyo. So without a doubt, hands down, Steins Gate is my game of the year for 2016. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I would love to hear, you know, what your guys' games of the years are, and you know, if you guys do a retrospective video, or if you just want to mention in the comments some of the games that you played this year that were standouts for you. I'd really love to hear that. You know, otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you'll join me again for more video game related videos. Take care, guys.